Hello guys, this is Dr. Kankarupka. In this video, we are discussing about bisection method. The bisection method is also known as Bolzano method or half interval method. So what is the importance of the bisection method? We can find out the root of algebraic equation and also transcendental equation. If the given algebraic equation of order is more than 4, in such a case, by applying the bisection method, we can find out the root. And also, if the given equation is transcendental equation, so that means the given equation have logarithmic functions, exponential function, or trigonometric function. In such a case, also we can find out the root. The bisection method is working depends on the intermediate value theorem. So, what is the intermediate value theorem? If the given function is continuous between any two values a and b, and also those two function values have opposite signs, then the root of the given equation lies in the interval a comma b. So depends on this intermediate value theorem, the bisection method is working. I will explain the working rule of bisection method with an example. So the first step is, let us consider the given equation. So I considered here the example is algebraic equation of order is 4. In the second step, let us take any two values a and b, satisfying the condition is those two functional values must be have opposite signs. So now here in the example, let us start with x0. If x is 0, what's the functional value? We got it. Replace x is equal to 0 in the given equation. So this is the given function. Take x0, we got it. F of 0 value, replacing x is equal to 0, we got it -4. So this is negative value. If x is 1, what is f of 1? -12. This is also negative value. So these two functional values have same sign. So that means what we say that the root does not lie between 0 and 1. So that's why let us go to the next value. If x is 2, then what is the functional value? Negative. So this is also negative. So that means what we say that the root does not lie between 1 and 2. So let us go to the next value. So x is 3, then what is the functional value? F of 3, replace x is equal to 3 in the given equation. We got it. The value is positive. So that means what we say that here? The root lies between opposite signs. Replacing x is equal to 2, f of 2 is negative, and replacing x is equal to 3, f of 3 is positive value. So that means what we say that here? The root lies between opposite signs. So now at x is equal to 3, at x is equal to 2, we got the opposite signs. So that's why what we say that the root lies between 2 and 3. So this is the second step we have to consider. So now here the root lies between 2 and 3. So in our example, the root lies between 2 and 3 because f of 2 and f of 3 have opposite signs. So what's the next step? Write the formula to find out the root. So in the bisection method, what is the formula to find out the approximations? So the meaning is included in the name of the method, bisection. Bisection means divide the given interval into the two equal parts. So now here a comma b is the given interval. So what the formula here? Take the average of those two values. So what the first approximation here? The formula is take the average of the interval a plus b by 2. So in our example, we got it. The root lies between 2 and 3. So that's why the first approximation formula is take the average of 2 and 3. So we got it. X1 value 2.5. So replace this x1 value in the given function. What is the functional value? F of 2.5 is, we got it here, negative value. So f of x1 is negative and f of b is positive. So that means what we say that now the root lies between x1 and b because x1 and b have opposite signs. So now the next step is find out the second approximation. So in our example, we got it, the root lies between x1 and b. So let us take the average of those two values. So x2 value here, x1 is 2.5 and b value is 3. So take the average, we got it 2.75. So x2 is 2.75 and x1 is 2.5. x1 and x2 both are different values. So that's why x2 is not a root of the given algebraic equation. So that's why go to the next step. So in the next step, find out the functional value of x2. So replacing x2 value in the given function, we got it positive value. So now here check it. The values are positive or negative. So f of x2 is positive value, f of x1 is negative value. So what we say that now here? The root is lies between x1 and x2. So let us take now the third approximation is x3 is equal to x1 plus x2 by 2, average of x1 and x2. So we got it here, the third approximation is 2.63. So now here the third approximation is 2.63 and the second approximation is 2.75. Both are different. So that's why go to the next step. Find out the next approximation. So for that we have to find out the function of x3 value. So what is the function of x3 value? So before going to the function of x3, I will explain the procedure here by using this graph. So now here we consider this is f of b value. This is the given curve f of x. So this is f of b we consider here. So this is the b value, x is equal to b. So that means in our example x is 3. This is the value x is equal to 2. So f of 2 we got it negative value here. This is f of 2 functional value, we got it negative. And f of 3 is positive value. So that means what we say that now here, the root lies between 2 and 3. So then by using the bisection formula, we got it average of 2 and 3 is the first approximation here. So what is the average of first approximation here? We consider x1, the first approximation. So then after that, the next step we consider the root lies between x1 and b. So that means we get the required root between x1 and b value. Here b is 3. So now again taking the average of x1 and b, we got it here x2 value. Next again, we get the average of x1 and x2. So continuously repeating this process, finally we get the accurate result. So the root of the given curve always intersects the x-axis. So now repeating this process, finally if any two successive approximations of the same value, then we get the accurate root of the given curve. The curve always intersects the x-axis. So this is the procedure we have to follow in the bisection method to find out the root of the equation. So now here to find out the root, the next step is find out the functional value. What's the next step here? The next step is we got it here, x3 and x2 both are different values. So next step is find out the f of x3. So find out the f of x3. Here we got it, f of x3 is negative value. So now here check it. F of x3 is negative value. Before this value, the second approximation is positive value. So that means what we say that the root lies between x2 and x3. So one point we have to remember in this bisection method, always take the opposite functional values. Check with the before approximation. If suppose both have x3 and x2 have same sign, then go to the before approximation x1 value. Check the functional value. Is it opposite sign or same sign? So this is the procedure we have to continue to get the approximations. So now here x3, the function of x3 is negative, function of x2 is positive, so that the root lies between x3 and x2. So now take the average of x3 and x2. So this is the fourth approximation. The fourth approximation value is 2.69. What is the third approximation? The third approximation is 2.63. So 2.63 and 2.69, both are different. So that's why what we say that this is not a root of the given equation. So that's why go to the next step to find out the approximation. So further, first of all, find out the functional value of x4. So what is the functional value of x4? Here we got it, the functional value is negative. The functional value is negative here. So now check with the previous value. F of x3 is also negative. Both have same sign. So that's why go to the previous functional value. F of x2 is positive. So f of x2 is positive and f of x4 is negative. So that means what we say that the root lies between x2 and x4. So now take the average of x2 and x4. We get the fifth approximation. The fifth approximation is 2.72. The fourth approximation is 2.69. Both are different. So that's why this is not a root. Then go to the next approximation. So further again find out the functional value of x5. So now here what is the functional value? The functional value is negative. The functional value of the given function at x is equal to 2.72 is negative. So now here check with the previous value. F of x4 is also negative, same sign. So the root does not lie between x4 and x5. So that's why go to the before approximation x3. F of x3 is also negative. So that means the root does not lie between f of x3 and f of x5. So that's why go to the before this approximation. F of x2 value, this is positive. F of x2 is positive. F of x5 is negative. So that means what we say that the root lies between x2 and x5. The root lies between x2 and x5. So let us take the average of x2 and x5. So we got it here. The sixth approximation is 2.735. But the fifth approximation is 2.72. Both are different. So that's why this is not a root. So to find out the next approximation, let us take the functional value of x6. So like this, we have to continue the number of steps to get the accurate results. So now find out the f of x6 value. So what is f of x6? This is positive value. F of x6 is positive. So then check with the previous value. Is it positive or negative? So the previous functional value, f of x5 is negative. So that means what we say that the root lies between x5 and x6. So let us take now the seventh approximation is average of x5 and x6. So we got it 2.728, the seventh approximation value. The sixth approximation is 2.735. Both are different. So that's why go to the next approximation. To find out the next approximation, let us take the function of the x7 value. What is the function of x7? This is also negative. The function of x7 is negative. So check with the previous functional value. F of x6, this is positive, greater than 0. So positive value. So what we say that now f of x6 and f of x7 have opposite signs. So that means what is the eighth approximation? Average of x7 and x6. We got it here 2.735. But what is x7? Seventh approximation is 2.728. Both are different. So this is not a root of the given algebraic equation. So that's why go to the next approximation. So further find out the function of x8. What is the function of x8? Replacing x with x8 value, that is 2.7315. We got it positive value. F of x8 is positive. F of x7 is negative value. So that means what we say that the root lies between x7 and x8. So what is the ninth approximation? take the average of x7 and x8. So we got it, ninth approximation is 2.7298. What is x8 value? Eighth approximation is 2.7315. This is 7298. Both are different. So that's why go to the next approximation. So further find out the function of x9. The function of x9, replacing x with the ninth approximation value 2.7298, we got the negative value. So that's why here check with the previous value. F of xy is negative or positive. Here f of x8 is positive value. So what we say that now? F of x9 is negative, f of x8 is positive, means the root lies between x9 and x8. So now find out the 10th approximation, average of 8th and 9th approximations. We got it 2.7307. What is 9th approximation? 2.7298. Both are different. So that's why go to the next approximation. Further find out the functional value of x10. The functional value of x10 is negative. So then check with the previous functional value. F of x9 is also negative. So x10 and x10 both have same sign. So that's why here the root does not lie between x9 and x10. So go to the before this approximation, that is f of x8. So f of x8 is positive value. So what we say that now? F of x8 is positive, f of x10 is positive. The root lies between x8 and x10. So now find out the 11th approximation. So the 11th approximation is average of x8 and x10. We got it 2.7311. But what is x10? 2.7309. So up to the 4 digits go. So that's why go to the next approximation. So before finding x10, find out the f of x11. What is f of x11 value? We got it negative, replacing in the given function. F of x11 is negative, f of x10 is also negative. So what is f of x9? F of x9 is also negative. So all have the same sign. So that's why go to the previous approximation, that is f of x8. So what is f of x8 here? F of x8 is positive value. So now here what we say that f of x8 is positive and f of x11 is negative. So the root lies between x8 and x11. So find out the 12th approximation. 12th approximation is the average between the x8 and x11. So we got it, the 12th approximation is 2.7319. So 11th approximation value 2.7311. Here 2.7313. Up to the 4 digits after the decimal place, both are different values up to the 4 digits. So that's why find out the next approximation value. So for this, find out the function of x12. So what is the function of x12? The function of x12 is negative value, we got it. Replacing x12 approximation value in the given function. We got it negative value. So f of x12 is negative, the previous value. F of x11 is also negative before this functional value x10. F of x10 is also negative before this value. F of x9 is also negative. All having same sign. So that's why the root does not lie between x9 and x12 also. So before this approximation, f of x8 value greater than 0. This is positive. F of x12 is negative. F of x8 is positive. F of x12 is negative. So that means what we say that the root lies between x8 and x12. So now take the average of x8 and x12. We got the 13th approximation is 2.7314. What is the 12th approximation? 2.7313. Both are different. So that's why find out the next approximation value. So for that, find out the functional value of x13. So what is the functional value of 13th approximation? This is negative. X30 is negative. Before the functional value, x12 functional value also negative. So the root does not lie between x13 and x12. Yes, previous value before this x12, the function of x11, 11th approximation functional value is also less than 0. So the root does not lie between x13 and x11. Before value x9 up to the x9 have same sign. So the root does not lie between x13 and up to the x9 approximation value. So f of x8 is positive value. So that's why now here what we say that the root lies between x8 and x13. So take the average of x8 and x13. So we got it 14. The approximation is 2.7315. The previous one is 2.7314. So both are different. So this is not a root of the given equation. So find out the functional value of x14. 14, the approximation functional value is also negative. X14 functional value of 13th approximation, functional value of 12th approximation, 11th, 10th and 9th, all are same sign. The f of x8 is the positive sign. So that means what we say that the root lies between x8 and x14. What is the average of x8 and x14? 2.7315, the previous value. x14, the 14th approximation is also same value, 2.735. So 14th approximation and 15th approximation, both are same. So that's why the root of the given equation is 2.7315. Up to the 4 digits, we got the root of the given algebraic equation. So now here, for the given equation, we got it. One of the root is 2.7315 and it lies between 2 and 3. So in this way, we have to continue the procedure to get any two successive approximations have the same value. So by continuing like this, finally, we got it at x14 and x15. At 15th approximation, we got the accurate results. So in this bisection method, we get the more number of approximations. So the convergence of the bisection method is very slow comparing with the regular Falsey method and Newton's method. So the convergence rate is linear. So this is very slow, the rate of convergence of bisection method is. That is the drawback of bisection method. To get the root in this bisection method, we have to apply the more number of iterations, approximations. So in this example, at 15th approximation, we got the root. So because of that reason, the rate of convergence of the bisection method is very slow comparing with the Newton's and regular Falsey methods. The flow chart of the bisection method. So now here, let us consider any two values A and C. So generally, what is the formula to find out the root in the bisection method? Take the average of those two values. Suppose after getting the average, the functional value of B and functional values of A both have opposite signs. Then what we say that B is the root. We say that B is the root. So further here, we have to check it here the convergence of the functional values. If it satisfies the convergence condition, then B is the root. Suppose here f of A and f of B have same sign. Then what we say that A and B are same. So that's why here go to the check for convergence. If the given values are satisfying the convergence condition, then we get the required root. Otherwise, go to the first step. Again, find out the average of the two values and check it. If both have opposite signs, then by the convergence condition, we get the accurate root. Otherwise, if the functional values have same sign, then again check the convergence condition, then go to the first step. So repeatedly continuing this procedure, finally, if any two successive approximations have same value, we get the updated interval and satisfy the convergence condition, then we get the accurate root of the given function, given equation. So now here we got it, B is the root. So this is the flow chart of bisection method. So the drawback of the bisection method is it will take the more number of iterations comparing with the regular Falsy mirror and Newton's method. So in this example, at the 15th approximation, we got the root. Thank you.